Hello students, I Kamlesh Kumar. Welcome to all of you at my YouTube channel Social Science Academy. We are studying the chapter of history, class 9 history, socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution, in which we have already prepared 9 videos. This is the 10th part of the same chapter, in which today we are going to discuss the February Revolution in Petrograd. So in the winter of 1917, conditions in capital Petrograd were very grim. During the First World War, this Petrograd was new name given to the previous St. Petersburg, which was an industrial city, and the palace of Tsar was located over there. So the layout of the city seemed to emphasize the divisions amongst its people. The workers' quarters and factories were located on the right bank of River Neva. On the left bank were fashionable areas, the Winter Palace and official buildings, including the palace where the Duma met. Means on one side of the river, the elite people were living, and on another side of the people, the poor and the common men were living. So this was the clear demarcation of society in the city. In February 1917, food shortages were deeply felt in the workers' quarters. The winter were very cold. There had been exceptional frost and heavy snow. Parliamentarians, wishing to preserve elected government, were opposed to Tsar's desire to dissolve the Duma. So, what were there? There were shortage of foodstuffs in the cities, most of the cities, which we have already seen in the previous topic also. And this is the beginning of the revolution in February 1917. Under these circumstances, on 22nd February, a lockout took place at a factory on the right bank. Means already we have seen on the right bank the commoners or the common people were living, factory workers, all the poor people were living on the right bank, and the left bank the elite class of the society were living. So in most of the factories they were locked down on February 22nd, 1917. So the next day, workers in 50 factories called a strike in sympathy. So another factory owners came in sympathy with this lockdown and they united. In many factories, women led the way to strike. So this came to be called International Women's Day. International Women's Day. So demonstrating workers crossed from the factory quarters to the center of the capital, the Nevsky Prospect. At this stage, no political party was actively organizing the movement, because already we have seen the political parties were declared illegal. So at this stage, as the fashionable quarters and officials buildings were surrounded by workers, the government imposed a curfew. In the fear, the government was bound to take action, and the government declared curfew in the city. So demonstrators dispersed by the evening, but they came back on the 24th and 25th February 1917. They again came back. So the government called out the cavalry and police to keep an eye on them. So there were confrontations among those workers and the government or the Tsar's officials, Tsar's police. On Sunday, 25th February, the government suspended the Duma. Means Tsar suspended the Duma. Politicians spoke out against the measure. Means this measure was unwelcomed by the Russian people. Demonstrators returned in force to the street of the left bank on the 26th. Means on 26th again there were huge confrontation. There were intense confrontation between these revolutionaries and the Tsarists. On the 27th, the police headquarters were ransacked. It was attacked. The streets thronged with people raising slogans about bread, wages, better hours, and democracy. So these were the demands of the people for a long time. We are seeing these demands from the beginning of the 20th century in Russia. The people were demanding for better working environment. Their working hours should be reduced, their wages should be raised. So all these demands were not fulfilled, and it was the culmination of dissatisfaction. It was culmination to revolt. So the government tried to control the situation and called out the cavalry once again. However, the cavalry refused to fire on the demonstrators. So again, what we are seeing, the police is also with the revolutionaries, and the Tsar is going to be an isolated person. So an officer was shot at the barracks of the regiment, and 3 other regiments mutinied, voting to join striking workers. By the evening, soldiers and striking workers had gathered to form a Soviet or council in the same building as the Duma made. So Duma had already been dissolved, and these revolutionaries people called Soviet. Soviet means the council of the people. So this was Petrograd Soviet. This was Petrograd Soviet, which is also known as the St. Petersburg. So the very next day, a delegation went to see the Tsar. Means those revolutionaries people went to meet the Tsar. Military commanders advised him to abdicate. He followed their advice and abdicated on 2nd March. Soviet leaders and Duma leaders formed a provisional government to run the country. Means this Tsar was abdicated. He was kept aloof from this in front of the rebellious people, and now this Soviet, which met at Petrograd, they formed the provisional government, not a real government, provisional government to run the country for a specific period of time, and then they will decide the course of action for Russia. So Russia's future would be decided by Constituent Assembly. Means the people, this council decided that there will be a Constituent Assembly and it will form the constitution for India. So elected on the basis of universal adult suffrage, means all the people will be given right to vote. Petrograd had led the February Revolution that brought down the monarchy in February 1917. So finally the people aspiration came to an accomplishment, and the people achieved. Monarchical system was destroyed and provisional government, socialist government was formed. So let us see the box Women's in February Revolution. Women workers often inspired their male co-workers. At the Lawrence telephone factory, Marfa Vasileva almost single-handedly called a successful strike. Already that morning, in celebration of Women's Day, women workers had presented red bows to men. So this every year we celebrate on 8th March the International Women's Day. So it is on the memory of this event only. And there might be a question in your mind that this event took place on 22nd February and it is celebrated on 8th March. Why it is so? So it is due to differentiation in calendars. So at that time Russian calendar was behind the Gregorian calendar. So it was like that, and if we calculate, the day fall on 8th March in reality according to Gregorian calendar. So that was the reason. So then Marfa Vasileva, a milling machine operator, stopped work and declared an impromptu strike. The workers on the floor were ready to support her, and the foreman informed the management and sent her a loaf of bread. So she got success. So she took the bread but refused to go back to work. So the administrator asked her again why she refused to work, and she replied, "I cannot be the only one who is satiated when others are hungry." Women workers from other sections of the factory gathered around Marfa in support, and gradually all the other women ceased working. Soon the men downed their tools as well, and the entire crowd rushed onto the street. So you can see here, student, that one move from individual can unite the whole people. If this Marfa Vasileva might have satisfied the bread which were provided by the management to her, then the workers' real demands could not be fulfilled. So she worried for other counterpart, other fellow workers, and she refused to go back on the work, and that united the workers, and that gave strength to their demand. Now let us see what happened after this February Revolution. So army officials, landowners and industrialists were influential in provisional government. Means whatever this provisional government was formed after the decline of this Tsar regime, in that government army officials, landowners and industrialists were influential. Means still the demands of people were not going to be fulfilled, because the people were trying to establish socialism. Means there should be collective right, and if landowners are there, influential industrialists are there, then there is no worry for the poor people. But the liberals as well as the socialists among them work towards the elected government. So restrictions on public meetings and associations were removed. Soviets like Petrograd Soviet were set up everywhere, though no common system of election was followed. Means still the whatever the people desired to bring changes, it was not completely fulfilled, but it was going on the right path. And whatever restrictions were there before this revolution, that there will no recognition of the political parties, no political freedom, or to form Soviet, the people were not given liberty. So all these liberties were granted by the provisional government. So in April 1917, the Bolshevik leader Vladimir Lenin returned to Russia from his exile. Means he was away from the main revolution, and in April 1917 this great leader of Russia, Vladimir Lenin, came back to Russia, and he and his Bolsheviks had opposed the war since 1940. Means they were against the First World War. Now he felt that it was time for Soviets to take over power. Means this group, council of people, will take over the power, and monarchical system, monarchical rule would be completely vanished. So he declared that the war be brought to a close, land be transferred to the peasants, and bank be nationalized. So these three demands were Lenin's April thesis. Very, very important fact. It can be asked in examination, what do you mean by April thesis, and who declared April thesis? So in April 1917, Vladimir Lenin suggested three changes to be brought, and these changes were: first, the First World War should be brought to the close. Land should be transferred to the peasants, and the banks should be nationalized. So these three demands together is known as April thesis in the history of revolutionary Russia. So he also argued that the Bolshevik party renamed itself the Communist Party to indicate its new radical aims. So they wanted to bring changes. Most others in Bolshevik party were initially surprised by April thesis. So they thought that the time was not yet ripe for a socialist revolution and the provisional government needed to be supported. But the developments of the subsequent months changed their attitude. Through the summer, the workers' movement spread. In industrial areas, factory committees were formed which began questioning the way industrialists ran their factories. Trade unions grew in numbers. Soldiers' committees were formed in army. In June, about 500 Soviets sent representatives to an all-Russian Congress of Soviets. So from every sections of society, the people are sending their representative. Now, as the provisional government saw its power reduce, the Bolshevik influence grow, it decided to take stern measures against the spreading discontent. It resisted attempts by workers to run factories and began arresting leaders. Popular demonstrations staged by Bolsheviks in July 1917 were sternly repressed. Many Bolshevik leaders had to go into hiding or flee. So another setback for the Bolsheviks. Now, meanwhile, in the countryside, peasants and their socialist revolutionary leaders passed for redistribution of land, which was another way to bring socialism in Russia. Land committees were formed to handle this. Encouraged by socialist revolutionary, peasants seized land between July and September 1917, and that prepared for another revolution in Russia that is known as the October Revolution in the history of Russia. So that topic we will deal in the next video. Till then, keep watching. Thanks. Have a nice day. If you are liking my video, please press on like button and subscribe the channel so that you will get the earliest notification of the video. Thanks. Have a nice day.